What's up? Boom. Don't. I got some stuff, man. There's 6.99 subs at Subway. That's actually cheaper than a gas station, man, and it's obviously better. You can get this online, man. I'm trying the honey mustard, man. I got some chips. I got some Doritos. I save going out for a special occasion, man. And there's no reason. Oh, you didn't cut this sandwich in half, I guess. Um, there's no reason why going out has to mean sitting in a restaurant, man. It's sweet. It's not really enough sauce on here, and they don't have four sauces, man. They don't have none. I like the Subway dressings, like the buffalo and stuff are typically really, really, really good, and they have tons of really good flavor. And obviously they put a lot of hard work into it. They never put enough on. That's what you want a sandwich to taste like, man. Because meat's meat, man. Like, I don't usually smoke these. I'm just trying between Marlboros and Palmas, man. I'm gonna have to go with the Palma. I usually smoke Montego Reds, but I was actually the victim of an assault, man. And what I presume to happen, man, is people were shocking my teeth. People actually against my will put these shockers in my teeth a long time ago. And here's the thing: they didn't know. They kind of had the plan was kind of set up that it was supposed to be in my best friend. And so I was still alive, obviously. But what this shocker in my tooth did, I was actually tortured for 48 hours. So it wasn't just a physical pain, and it's not an infection. Yeah. They had said this, that they were going to do this. They were after the wrong guy. I don't even know what they were after. But that it was doing something, and you could even feel it in your brain. It's a certain type of pump. And hold on. Well, anyways, man, they thought that they were setting it off on somebody else. Man, I'm not sure how many of them thought that or this or that or whatever. But my best friend and I had tricked them, man. And what they didn't know is, since, to stay in my parents' house, as I am now, paying rent, big space, all my stuff, there's other reasons of why I need to be there. Um, that they didn't know that I'm on an antipsychotic shot, man. And what it does, man, this shocker, it turned all of my fucking dopamine levels, all of the dopamine in my fucking brain was gone. My brain had no dopamine, you know. So I had to buy this, man. I also had Newports, because they have like a high kick. I don't know, I didn't look up the nicotine levels. But they had actually done an experiment on me that, to my knowledge, nobody had ever done before. I had no dopamine in my brain at all. And they did this to me against my will. And so to save my life, this goes into some medicine. Um, these actually are cannabinoid, and this is something. Marlboro Reds are actually cannabinoid. They're not nicotine. They might have some nicotine. I don't know. They're like weed actually, and this is why, when I was working at the hospital, why part of treatment was actually informing people of of what their diagnosis is and what treatments are and what healthy is, you know. And so because these you actually control with your mood, but that also has a little bit to do with your mind. That cannabinoids will actually get your body, if you have the knowledge, your body actually has knowledge of what's going on in it. And cannabinoid receptors, when you smoke these, I don't know if it's decretion or incretion of cannabinoid uh, synapse neurotransmitters in your brain, that your body will actually start getting healthy. And so I don't work out, man. I don't work out. And I'm 160 pounds, man, and I'm 5'9". I can military press because when I was younger, and developing, I was studying biology. Um, and I actually knew this, and so I have actually made my body as strong as to the extent of scientific knowledge now. So I can actually, without lifting weights, I can military press 250 pounds. You can do it for self improvement. You know. So I'm actually on leave at the hospital because back in 2013, when I finished my neurosurgery residency, um you know we made a choice, man, that we made a choice that instead of being at the front of the field, man, because I have a PhD in both astrophysics, applied physics, you know and this is the MD sort, and the DO is the your body's healing, man. So ironically, I'm not actually a DO in anything but pediatrician, but I was actually a kid pediatrician, because I started my college freshman year of high school, and then I did my neurosurgery residency. I finished it up from 2013 or 2010 to 2013. I actually had a girlfriend for about 9 months who I always cheated on, and she never found out, and I'm not in contact with her, man. She didn't know I was in neurosurgery residency. I was doing it. She thought I was like a janitor. I worked in that cafeteria, man. But we had decided, man, and this is where people like hit you left and right. They thought like I got like a neurosurgery. Um, I finished residency. They thought that I did that and I was just getting credentials. I realized, that with my background, I have, I did multiple degrees. Starting my freshman year of high school, man. And there's an interesting story about how I got into distance learning. And my best friend, the one that I talked about, was actually 9 years old, man. And he was the first online student, man. Apparently, he was 9 years old at an Ivy, man. and that's me and my best friend. So I have degrees in applied biology, which would be like fungus growth, all this weird shit. Interesting stuff. Applied physics, I have a PhD. My astrophysics is actually a physics paper, and I realized that I was discovering all this stuff that was definitely true. But and it took me over 10 years, man. This was back in 2013, and I've basically been getting jumped by people over and over for quote not working. That you may have seen my book collection. I have hundreds of textbooks. I've actually been crossing fields and stuff, so I've been doing theoretical research actually for 10 years. And I've developed, so much more. The last line of my astrophysics PhD says, I wonder if there's so much more, uh, that, we can learn about. And that was why, instead of being a neurosurgeon and spending my time at the forefront, you know, and accepting, that that um you know you just take problems as they come and you go through them and you deal with them, that civilization had actually created so much more wealth than it even was cognizant of, that I spent the last 10 years actually on research, man. And people keep basically like jumping me for that. They don't even know. Or whatever, man. A good sandwich. Not much chips. Yeah. So that's some stuff, and so we just finished up the work. I thought honey mustard and Sprite and nacho was a good combo. So but what is the driving force, man, behind your body's ability, to heal itself? There's both the knowledge, man, and there's also the motivation. That the better you feel, the more your body can actually do this. And there's actually, an equation, man. It looks really simple, but it's really complex about the intersection between these things. Physics is so interesting, and I'm actually looking forward to this. Obviously, this is my statement, man. I don't believe in using nuclear weapons. I don't, man. But I'm a nuclear engineer. So I'm also a physicist, and I'm on witness protection right now. Um, and they're shouting me. They won't end this, man. Um, that I plan on doing nuclear research. Obviously, I won't make any nuclear weapons, but I'm a nuclear engineer, so I'm allowed to buy these things. I'm not gonna use a lot, man. But I actually invented a field, man, that that nuclear radiation, man, heat from a nuclear reaction, is actually not the same thing as a flame, man. Even if it were the same, you know, wavelength and frequency, man. Nuclear radiation is different, man. This is proven, man. Because we did tests for this paper, man. All my papers are down because, I don't think it's fair for everybody, to get a head start on me when that's what the government wants to happen. So all my papers are going to be put back up. I had them take it down. That um I actually invented the field of nuclear genetics, man. And that's what that paper is on. So I am actually a nuclear engineer, so I'm allowed to buy this stuff for experimental use. Um you know I wouldn't, I would never have enough, for a nuke. Just small amounts, you don't need much at all. And that we actually altered the genetics of plants using nuclear radiation. I had some people do that as the experimental portion of my paper, and it worked apparently. So it was damn good, dude. Turn on the radio, but no, YouTube would copyright infringe me. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I just wanted to make this blog, man. Saw my opportunity. Kind of just out of serious work and more into pet projects. At this point, and since the government, man, ate me alive, man, I can't go and work at the hospital. I want to work at the zoo. I want to, I'm going to specialize in rabbits, actually. So I'm gonna try and work, at the zoo, the Humane Society, and at a vet, man. I'm actually staying in my city, and that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna have a bunch of things going. Oh. They actually, they actually hacked my computer, so I can't record music, and I can't even save Ableton. Oh, he's not my biological son. I don't have a biological son, but I've been making music. That's why I'm staying here. I've been making music on Ableton with my son, man. So, no stuff. He's only 2. Been introducing him to music. I actually have a promise, man. I have a promise from Larry Bacow, the 2 presidents ago of Harvard University, that he said, if you have a kid ever, and you go through, certain things, in the way that you do, and you actually lead your kid to this, which was Death Wish by Stan Atlantic. He said, if you can get your kid through your library through Nothing Nowhere's Verse and Death Wish. We will give your kid, and of course it's not going to happen now. It probably won't happen, until my kid is a teenager, man, a late teenager, around the age of an adult, man. That he actually has guaranteed admission to Harvard University. So, I'll end with that. Have a good day.